very, very quiet.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, Thank you all for joining us this morning. I have a statement. As many of you know, my office is aggressively pursuing Wall Street corporations and executives that harm investors here in Ohio and around the world. Just 1 week ago, we announced a $400 million settlement in our litigation against Marsh McLennan, the insurance broker whose kickback scheme resulted in tremendous investor losses. Today, we're opening a new front in our fight to hold Wall Street accountable. Our nation's 3 largest rating agencies, Standard & Poor's, Moody's, and Fitch, carry an important duty to our marketplace and our economy to offer objective information about the relative security of investments. And investors trust that information when making extremely important decisions. But unfortunately, the rating agencies recently shirked their responsibilities, sparking worldwide economic distress. Nowhere has this been felt more acutely than in Ohio. Specifically, it's come to light that Standard & Poor's, Moody's, and Fitch offered inaccurate evaluations of financial products known as mortgage-backed securities. The rating agencies gave these investments their highest credit ratings. As it turns out, however, these ratings were artificially inflated, and Standard & Poor's, Moody's, and Fitch inflated the ratings in exchange, at least in part, for very lucrative fees from the issuers of these securities. And in fact, investments in mortgage-backed securities were nowhere near as safe as the rating agencies assured investors they would be. In other words, the credit rating agencies sold out, and they sold us out. They traded in their objectivity and in exchange received massive profits. As a result, Ohio police officers, firefighters, teachers, government workers, investors, and retirees of all stripes suffered terrible losses, losses that according to our preliminary analysis exceed $457 million. We will hold Standard & Poor's, Moody's, and Fitch accountable for the havoc they've wreaked in our economy and for the devastation they've imposed on the hard-earned investments of ordinary workers, families, and retirees here in Ohio. This case goes to the heart of what's wrong with Wall Street today. Ohio workers, including our families, friends, and neighbors, work hard to create wealth in our economy. Then some Wall Street corporations and executives manipulate that wealth for their benefit, and they do so with total disregard for our life's work and the importance of our retirement savings. Ordinary people throughout Ohio are hurt by this kind of misconduct, and we won't stand for it. As I've repeatedly said, there are no special rules for those in the financial industry. Wall Street corporations and executives must play by the same rules as everybody else, and we will make sure they do so. This lawsuit brings to 8 the number of major cases handled by my office against Wall Street this year. To date, we've succeeded in recovering $2 billion. I realize that Columbus, Ohio may seem far away to executives on Wall Street, but I hope by now they're starting to hear us. It is no longer safe to run roughshod over workers, retirees, and families in Ohio. If you break the law and harm Ohio investors, we will hold you accountable. Thank you. I'm glad to take your questions.
Rich, in many of those other lawsuits, Ohio wasn't the first one out of the gate. Are there other states that have done this already?
In the credit rating area, there is one other state that has brought a lawsuit, California. They were the first. Ohio is the second.
And why did you decide to jump into this early?
We have jumped into it when we felt that we had done enough work to feel secure that we can establish a case. Our pension systems have come to us and talked about the frustration that they have felt about the conduct of the rating agencies and the fallout from the mortgage-backed securities and the way those were rated and how it's affected their investment decisions. And our preliminary analysis, again, is that the losses are sizable and they absolutely merit us pursuing recovery.
Would you expect more states to follow?
I can't speak for other states, but I wouldn't be surprised if other states follow as well. This is a lot of money. It affects every beneficiary of their pension systems, both public and private. And I would think that it's hard not to take a hard look at this and recognize that there's a need to pursue redress.